AITA for refusing to answer to a nickname I don't like? Throwaway account and fake names. I don't think I'm ta here, but one of my coworkers does, and we both follow this Reddit. So we're letting Reddit decide. I, 28F, was named after a really obscure character from Greek mythology. My preferred nickname is taken from the end of my name. I always introduce myself with, I'm my name, but you can call me nickname. Quote. None of my coworkers in the small business we work for have ever had a problem with this before. Until Megan, 25F, the niece of Jeff, 50SM, one of the two owners, was hired. Jeff and Dave, 50SM, co-own the business, but Dave does the actual day-to-day running of the business. I introduced myself and my nickname as usual, but she immediately said that Bessie, not the actual name, would be a better nickname because it comes from the beginning of my name and that she liked it better. I told her I really didn't like that nickname and wouldn't answer to it, and asked her to please not call me Bessie, but she insisted that it was so much prettier and that I just needed to get used to it. For the next 2 months she tried to call me Bessie, but I completely ignored her whenever she addressed me that way. Even when I knew she really needed help with something, she would call my desk phone and say, "Hey Bessie." I would reply, "You have the wrong number, there's no Bessie here," and hang up. She then tried to get some of the employees outside the office to start calling me Bessie, but I quickly shut that down. I usually finish my work early and help them with a lot of tedious little things that aren't part of my job description, and threatened to stop helping them unless they used my preferred nickname. Friday she decided she was going to get me to respond to Bessie no matter what. We have an open office design but are at opposite ends. She started calling out Bessie in a sing-song voice over and over again to try and annoy me enough to respond. Other coworkers got annoyed, most telling her to stop, and one, Lisa, 43F, telling me to just let her call me Bessie already. I refused, and she kept calling out Bessie louder and louder, until Dave barged in. He'd been on a conference call with an important client and could hear her yelling from his office down the hall. He told her to be quiet and that if she called me Bessie one more time, he'd write her up and dock her pay. Later, Megan cornered me in the break room, called me an off for getting her in trouble, and called me Bessie again for good measure just as Dave was walking in to heat up his lunch. He gave her a stern look and said, "I warned you." Then he walked to HR to have her written up. Lisa is saying I'm the off for never helping Megan, and that if I had been nicer or hadn't fought her so hard on the nickname, she probably would have given up on it a while ago, but because I made such a big deal out of it, it became a challenge. So Reddit. AITA? Lisa thinks you should just give in and let the bully win? How kind of her to side with a bully. NTA. NTA. Holy shit. What a bizarre hill to die on. You did everything right, politely telling her not to call you that. She brought her punishment on herself. NTA. She's trying to bully you. She even tried to get others to join in. She deserves getting written up. Good job standing up for yourself. You're NTA. You established a boundary, and her determination to break it is gonna keep getting her in trouble. NTA. You said she's 25, but I think she's probably closer to 5. NTA. My son changed his name in 4th grade because adults would argue with him over their right to call him by a nickname he hated. Like if his name was William and he introduced himself William, but you demanded you had a right to call him Will even when he said he doesn't use that nickname, and asked you not to. I wouldn't have believed there would be so many off. You, however, are not one of them. It's your name. You get to pick your nickname. NTA. This is low-level victim blaming on Lisa's part. You instigated none of this. My sister has a very obscure Greek name as well and has enjoyed the misspellings, mispronunciations, and the "I'm just going to call you X" too. The way she ended up handling it when someone would decide to call her Mylanta instead of Atalanta. Not her actual name either. She would say, "If you want to give someone a stupid name, have kids. That's what my parents did." NTA. Fuck this. You didn't get her in trouble, her mouth did. And for the record, this can be considered workplace harassment and she could be fired over it. NTA. I love your solution. And it worked as intended. Megan is a bully who actually got caught and held accountable. She thought being a relative would protect her. Good for the company for treating her like anyone else. The other coworker who confronted you either is friends with Megan or doesn't like conflict. Don't worry. You did good. NTA, and you should go to HR and complain of harassment. NTA. Megan is behaving like a schoolchild, one of the mean girls who expect everyone to give way to them. Megan and Lisa are tough for sure. It's not hard to call someone by their proper name, especially when it's the only name you've ever known them as. Choosing otherwise is extremely rude. As for Megan getting written up, she played a stupid game and won a stupid prize. That's 100% on her. NTA. Megan is a bully. Congratulations for not letting her bully you. Lisa obviously likes the easy life, but sometimes that's not the best thing to do. Your life could have become a misery at work had you not stood up for yourself. NTA. Stick to your guns and never respond to her childish name calling. NTA. She's a bully. Completely NTA. If she hadn't been an obstinate child, the whole situation could have been avoided. You did literally nothing and Lisa and Megan are mad? Help Megan what? You did help her, but consistently telling her you would not answer to a made-up name you didn't agree to. You don't need to be nice. Being nice is referring to someone as the name they asked to be called. She was never going to give up that nickname no matter what. NTA. Very much NTA. Megan sounds very inconsiderate and immature, especially considering it was 100% her actions that led to her getting written up. She's in control of what she does and needs to own that. Cornering you was 100% out of line. And you're never obligated to answer to a nickname you don't like being called. The way you handle it when meeting people sets a clear boundary. In a friendly way, you keep on doing you. NTA at all. Her actions had consequences. She seems really immature. I think most little kids learn how to respect people better than she does. NTA. I, personally, think the origin of your name is pretty cool. You clearly know how to introduce yourself, and someone deciding to give you another name when you've given them your name and nickname just isn't appropriate. I would see this as bullying. Personally, this is a HR issue as she clearly doesn't understand boundaries. There's not a chance you're the here. Intashe's rude and beyond obnoxious.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.